Hello everyone and welcome back for a new talk. It's about the next generation of workshops and fleets. So it's all about you, and the ZF portfolio for commercial vehicles grew significantly as a result of the merger with WABCO. And in this talk we want to show you new opportunities and actually new growth opportunities. And in case of facing new challenges, improve your repair service and also simplifying your job. And for that we have special guests I definitely want to introduce you. So at first, Anne-Veronique Bartel. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. You are from Garage Marketing Management. Welcome. Holger Tangemann. Holger, you are the head of WABCO Academy Germany. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi. And Markus Schmitz, Global Head of Workshop Concepts.
Hi.
And Kim Oliver Kohlmeier, Global Head of Sales, Autonomous Transport Systems.
Hi, thank you.
So, sounds great. Sounds that we will have a really nice and interesting talk. And Kim, I would like to know, we are talking the whole day about transformation. What all of these changes actually means for the workshops, for the fleets?
Yeah, I think what we all recognize is that new technologies are emerging nearly every day. And the requirements are really challenging for the workshops and the fleets. And they need to make sure that they're staying on top of this development to really do the service not just now, but also tomorrow.
Mm. And Markus, you are working pretty closely with the workshops, so you have information for us. What are the pain points when you talk with people in this business and industry?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have a close relationship to our workshop partners to understand their pain points and to find solutions for their daily work. So to your question about the concerns, I mean, no matter to whom you speak in the workshop level, if it's an Alltrucks partner, if it's a ZF product partner, if it's a WABCO service partner, the fear is pretty much the same. I mean, there's always the question, are we able to repair the technology from tomorrow? And the second one is, who's going to help us by diagnostics? Mm-hmm. And my question is always, we're going to do that. Because first of all, ZF has a strong competence in commercial vehicle. Mm-hmm. On the diagnostic side, we have from the ZF side a ZF test man. And on the WABCO solution, especially for trailers, we have the right tools. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to be the right partner for the commercial vehicles. Mm-hmm.
But do you have any painkillers? Because we're talking a lot about pain. Do you have a painkiller? Do you have solutions?
Our solutions are on the diagnostic side, as I just mentioned. And for sure, we have a field service team around the globe, and these colleagues, they're going to help the workshops if there is a failure or something where they need help.
Mm-hmm. So Holger, it's all about knowledge. That's the key. How will we make sure that together with combined offering, we provide the knowledge to the people who actually need them?
Yeah, I think it's a challenge, but we have enough time to pull our workshops on board. And the good news is that with the WABCO products, WABCO Academy came into the ZF group, and the WABCO Academy is having a huge community of trainers, and every of our trainer is very experienced for a long time in commercial vehicle systems. So I think we are well prepared, and in the end, I think that there will be a huge benefit for the customer, but also for the workshops.
But how does the WABCO Academy support workshops in detail?
Yeah, in the first row, what we are doing is training. We do commercial vehicle training. And I think it's very important to explain our products because our systems are so complex today. So, this is what we do. And we do that in many different languages. For example, when you want to book a training, you can come to us in 30 different training centers all over the world. And I think this is great. But also the last year shows that sometimes the people are not able to come to a training, or they're not willing to come directly to us, to one of the training centers. And also for that, we have a solution. We are offering online trainings. On the one hand, we are offering e-learnings, modules the customer or participant can do from home in their own speed. So in their own learning speed, completely on their own, without a trainer or other participants around them. But on the other hand, we have digital classroom trainings. That means we meet together in an online classroom, and the participants have the time to ask questions, to discuss with other participants. And yeah, I think we are well prepared for the future. And yeah, that all leads me to my opinion that WABCO Academy can make a difference.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But Veronique, besides WABCO Academy, how do we make sure that we are actually upskilling workshops for the future challenges?
Well, ZF of course also offers a very, very broad portfolio concerning trainings. So from the 1 hour free, it's actually really for free online live sessions that you can book at ZF Technical Training. There's also up to 2 hours of full day face-to-face training with an evening program in our workshop concept ZF ProTech. So we have something for every type of expert level and needs of the workshop. And we're going to have a little sneak in one of the trainings in a minute. And yeah, so ZF Technical Training really is doing a lot. We have, in the last year, there were like 30,000 technicians that were trained from our ZF Aftermarket trainers, so that's a lot. This equals to 250,000 training hours, so yeah, we're quite experienced there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot.
But you already started to talk about ProTech, and yesterday we also talked about it. Yeah. Maybe we can go a little bit more in detail. Maybe you can show us a little bit more about ProTech.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. So ZF ProTech is our workshop concept. It's both for passenger cars and for commercial vehicles. And today we have more than 13,000 partners worldwide. And yeah, I brought a little video with me. I think it's better than me explaining just words. So let's have a look at it. Yeah, so ZF ProTech has an online platform with a lot of technical information on there, but we put a high focus on technical training. So the technical trainings are 2 days, like I told you, and it's a good mixture of the theory and of the practical part. The training that you can see here is suspension and steering training, and the participants there, they learn how important the steering geography is. So yeah, at the moment we offer 4 CV trainings within ZF ProTech, so there should be something for every CV workshop. But yeah, it's not all about training, as you will see in a minute. We also have a big part that it's the evening program. Oh, actually, this was me. I don't know if you've seen it in the video. So yeah, this is really important to have this part too, and this is a value added to a lot of other trainings that are only like driving in and out, and because the workshops can connect together and also with us. So we have the direct connection to the workshop, and we receive the pain points, and so we know what is up there.
But normally, if I think of training, it looks like pretty boring. But that sounds like you're eating and drinking, having fun. So it's also about
it's really
partnership.
Yeah, ZF ProTech is not it's know-how, it's training, but it's also networking, it's partnership, and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to see more, just go to protech.zf.com, and there's a lot of information if you're interested.
Definitely, super. So Holger, how can we support actually workshops to optimize their repair service and also simplify their jobs?
Yeah, in the first moment, I think about data, because data, we heard it throughout the day, data is a very huge topic. The vehicles providing us so many values and data, and our goal is to make it accessible for the workshops, for the mechanics. And for that, we are offering diagnostic tools and data dongles, for example. And yeah, to give you an overview what that means and how it looks, I brought with me the diagnostic interface 3.
Okay, and what exactly is it? Can you explain it a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. This is a tool where you can connect to the vehicle, and then you can access the vehicle data via the diagnostic software with your computer via Wi-Fi, and the diagnostic software itself then will give you an overview about the data in a way you can easily understand as a mechanic, and it helps you to make a decision. What has to be repaired? What is the maintenance status, for example? And yeah, I think that is a really great thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Veronique, for you, we spoke about training for workshops, and we also identified that high voltage is the key. But for you or for all of us, what is the first step for commercial vehicles in this direction? So the first optimistic step, you know, it's always like a first step you have to do.
Yeah, it's the same actually for the CV. If you want to work with high voltage, you need certificates, you need knowledge, you need know-how. And so there we offer high voltage trainings actually since 2015, when back then it wasn't that demanded. So we were really one of the first ones in the markets offering trainings like this. And today we're even very proud to have a very, very big OE company as a customer for training. So this is a sign that we have really highly qualified training there. And I think we're going to have a little sneak in or preview a demo at the end, don't we?
At the end, yes, at the end. We have a little bit more time.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted, I'm so excited so that no one misses it. So
I'm also excited, but we have a little bit more time. So, Kim, we spoke about autonomous systems yesterday, and could you give us an outlook of what workshop trainings will look like in the future? Because it will be totally different than right now.
I would say so in general, when we talk about autonomous transport systems, I can say the baseline is what we see in the training already today. So we have the ADAS topics already today in our trainings. We're talking about high voltage. That's all already there. But when we really look into the shuttle, what is really I would say the main content, we talk about the see, the think, and the connect. So that means we have over 30 hardware components, sensors, and supercomputers in the vehicle connected with the software to a system to make it at least at the end driving autonomously. And so that means the workshop training in the future will still have hardware parts to be trained, but the software will be a key. And data connectivity is then, I would say, the way how the vehicle is then at the end connected to us. And remote topics will become more and more important. Over-the-air updates, making sure that the right status of software is on the vehicle, on the components. And when I look on the transport system, it's also the environment, the infrastructure around. So looking on the charging infrastructure, you need to operate all day long. And so I think we have a good starting point, but this needs to grow. And at the end, there is also certification. So really to make sure that the right trained technician is working on an autonomous transport system.
Yeah, you just said that it will be a main thing, like the whole technical side. Do you think, because a lot of young people, they don't want to like work with hands. I feel that, and also we have my dad is a carpenter, and there are no like young people coming because no one wants to work with their hands. Do you think it's kind of a motivation to also bring back young people in the business?
Absolutely. So what I see today, what is needed to run such a system, again, it's not about being anymore only a hardware technician. It's really, you need to be a software guy. You need to be trained. You need to code. You need to make sure that everything is in the right shape. And I think it's not a computer game, but it's a really, really serious, I would say, and interesting. And I'm really thrilled about it too, and product what we are talking about. And I think this will help us a lot to get new young people in this business.
Absolutely. So that's what we wanted to talk about, new growth opportunities for workshops and feed. And I hope you are optimistic for the future and motivated to go in the future. Thank you very much. That was really interesting. And thanks again an Veronique Bartel, Holger Tangemann, Markus Schmidt, Kim Oliver Kohlmeier, and you. come to my side. Now it's your turn. Then, Anne-Veronique, this is your camera because you were so excited to. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
The training high voltage video presented by Anne-Veronique.
So, thanks a lot. So now, everyone, you're gonna see the demo of the high voltage training that I was talking about. So have a look at it. Stay tuned, and thanks a lot.
And we will see us later. Bye bye.
Bye.
A warm welcome here to Friedrichshafen at our Technical Training Center. My name is Sabine Kretz, and I'm particularly delighted to give you today some insights to our trainings. Our training portfolio holds product trainings and also e-mobility trainings. All e-mobility trainings here are completely independent of the different types of vehicles, so they are both valid for passenger cars as well as commercial vehicles. In our e-mobility curricula, we have training covered from the very basic training, so everything that's basics in electronic engineering, beyond all 3 levels of the German relevant topics for insurance coverage, and that's working with and on voltage systems as well as the expert level. So we also have trainings that are specifically geared to the demands of firefighting services or other appliances. And then we have trainings on individual high voltage components such as the high voltage accumulator. Here we're getting started right away with level 2. So this is the level of the high voltage expertist, and here we have 2 options to get started. Depending on your preliminary knowledge, you can, as a preparatory startup, start with the basic training, and you are well prepared for the entry quiz for the high level voltage expert course. Here we're getting started with topics such as the Ohm law, but also pure and alignments that are done in parallel, and then also we deal with individual small components such as capacitors, stators, and diodes. Practical training is part of the face-to-face training, so all the theory has been put upstream in e-learning modules. Here we learn more about the practical aspect by Sebastian, but just to let you know, this is only the preparations for the actual training to become a high voltage expert, where it's about getting skills and get familiarized with dealing and managing high voltage systems, to independently shut down such systems, but also to carry out measurements that are safety relevant. Here, so I'd like to pass on to Bastian, and he is going to give us some insights to the topic of basic training. Thank you very much, Sabine. At the center of attention here with the basics in learning electronics and electrical engineering, it's all about the practical aspects. So all theory has already been covered with the e-learnings. Participants did that at ease, relaxed, at home or at work, wherever possible. And now we're just dealing with the practical aspects of the course. So everything in practice is done in a course of 3 days. You're accompanied by this little booklet. You find different work assignments here in this booklet, and it's all about managing these. I already prepared something for you guys to see. Here we have 2 oscilloscopes on the table, 2 multimeters, and all of these devices will be connected in a minute. In our practical classes, we are also addressing individual electrical components, be it a simple resistor or even a more complex transistor. With this setup, we are dealing about a parallel alignment here. We have applied voltage of 24 volts, and that is alternating current, and this is decoded, so to say, with a trafo, with 2 coils on the trafo, a primary one and a secondary one, sitting together on an iron core, and they go on with their flow of current to the individual diodes. A diode is an electric component where current can only flow in one direction. So I can steer and manage my flow of current here. I have 4 in total, aligned as you see it here. So if I arrange them accordingly, I can change AC to DC. In addition, on the left side, from my side, we have also set up a capacitor so that our final DC can be smoothed out. I'm connecting or including my multimeters here. We have a voltmeter here in red. A voltmeter has always to be connected in parallel to the consumer. When you connect it so that you can read of the voltage, then we have our ampermeter, and it always needs to be connected in line in the flow of current. I'm switching the system on, and then I'll explain in a second what the displays tell us. Here to my right side, you see the display with the applied alternating current of 24 volts. On the other side, we have the converted direct current of 8 volts. With the measurement devices, you can see what kind of voltage passes through this circuit, this alignment, and then in the end, we have this converted voltage of 8 volts. This knowledge is what we need later on in the level 2 high voltage expert class course. And this is happening in our plants and in our workshops, and we'll see in a second in our vehicle. And now we are here right at our high voltage test setup, where we have different components mounted to the table, and these we'll find later on also with our high voltage vehicle. First of all, at the front lower section we have our high voltage battery that provides us with our electrical energy. Here for the drive we're using also at the bottom section our electric motor, which is at the very same time a device that can work as a generator so that the whole system works. Then on top we have our power electronics that can convert our DC into AC or our AC into DC as needed. Furthermore, at the center we have our side components. Right here the distributor for high voltage, and then our electrical heating system here for the interior, for example, or depending on the vehicle manufacturer also for the high voltage battery. Then our electric climate compressor to cool the interior for the AC and also to cool the HV accumulator. And the last item here in the setup is the DC-DC converter, which from our high voltage system charges my 12 volts battery, because here we no longer have the classical generator installed. Furthermore, in the setup we also find our different modes of protection. It's basic protection, and then it's fail-safe devices. Basic protection is aimed at protecting me directly when I'm getting directly in touch with active components that could be dangerous. First of all, that would be our insulation, for example, our optical warning indicators. All high voltage ducts and cables are in orange. Also our high voltage pictograms that have been applied to every single HV component. In order to have fail-safe devices, is everything connected to indirect connections or touching, like setting up an independent network, ET network, ISO-guard, or for switching off the system when people work on it, maintain it, as the service disconnect. Prior to getting started with the system, I have to first of all shut it down, because we all know that working under voltage with the system is forbidden. This is the reason why I work in line with 3 out of the 5 safety rules: to shut it down, protect it from re-engagement, and then to check it whether the system is free of voltage. First of all, we removed here our service disconnect. In order to activate it, I have to pull out this little red pin here to the outside, and then I can actually take the whole interior module out, and I can apply my second protection rule, namely to protect it from re-engagement so that no non-authorized personnel is able to engage it in the meantime. The key goes with me, and it's safely stored here in my pocket. In addition, I'm also applying a little tag here indicating that things are being worked on to be on the safe side. Next comes my 12 volts battery in order to make sure that all sources of potentially dangerous voltage are removed from the system. I'm pulling off the minus pole and it's also protected from re-engagement with this lock. And also in addition over here, I will apply my tag so everybody sees very clearly someone is working on the system. The keys also go with me in my pocket. And finally, I'll have to address with this test setup to the battery. There, we also have a maintenance separator. It's a little plug here that I remove, and I also apply my tag again, indicating that things are maintained so no one can confuse that status quo. Before I start changing anything with the system or checking things, I have to wait for something until the intermittent capacitator has discharged, it's installed in the power electronics, and depending on the manufacturer, it needs 5 seconds for this process or even 5 minutes. Once this time span has elapsed, I can start with the third set of rules here on the system, namely to check whether it's free from voltage. In order to find out whether this is the status, I use a 2-pole testing device here for voltage testing because it's quite suited for this kind of measurement. A multimeter would not be suited. Here, I could do wrong adjustments with it. I could wrongly read off what's on the display. It has its own source of current and voltage. So in order to move on here, depending on the manufacturer, I go to different spots to check that. But basically, I always go as close to the power electronics as I can. We're going close to it here, removing the lid that's been prepared up front with the screws being unscrewed. And here I'm getting directly to HV plus and minus for my testing. What is important? Prior to using the 2-pole voltage tester, as with all other test devices, I'm doing a visual check first. If I notice something that needs to be corrected, then I do a functional check second. So does the device properly function? I go to a well-known source of voltage myself, check whether the display reads off what I'm expecting in terms of a value or not. I tested my device already, it's ready for testing, and here I'm doing the standard check. 3 tests in series. So first of all, I'm checking HV plus to ground, checking the display always. Is there any kind of voltage indicated? Then next measurement, HV minus to ground, nothing indicated, and then HV plus to HV minus, one with the other one. If the tester indicates there is no voltage on the system, I can say this system is free from voltage. I can get started with my work assignments. And prior to doing so, I will also remove or change my status quo indicator here. We have 3 with CF actually. We have the yellow one here that you see. That's attention, this high voltage system is active. Once it's been shut down and checked, as we've done it just a second ago, we put in the green sign indicating that this system is inactive, and then we have a red one that could be used if there is any kind of mistake or error in the system. Well done! So much about the certified shutting down of the system. I'll take you over to the vehicle and we have a look at how this looks like at an e-car. With the vehicle, we've already done 2 steps out of the 3 safety steps. First of all, we found out what needs to be done in terms of safety requirements 1 and 2. And now we have to check whether it's free from voltage. That's the 3rd step that still needs to be done. So here we have a testing device from the manufacturer. It's a testing adapter. Here I can clearly and easily access my contacts with not scratching over them and destroying them by using improper equipment for testing. The manufacturer indicates here to be as close to the high voltage accumulator with the tests, and where I have best access, this is right here with the power electronics. It's the first HV plug in the front section. In order to open it up, I have to remove my interlock here so that the HV system can be pulled open. I open up the mechanical lock here, and now I can plug out or unplug my HV plug. I look at it. Is the contact coming up? Is something striking visually that I need to replace or repair? Then this needs to be done first. If that is not the case, I can connect my measuring adapter here. First of all, I go to my power electronics, connect the plug, and then the testing device that comes from the HV accumulator right away into my testing device. So we have a closed loop circuit again. To this end, I'm using my 2-pole voltage tester that again, prior to that, I checked optically and checked in terms of functioning with a well-known source of voltage to mine. I've done that up front, it's all well. And as before, with the test setup, I test the different connections in terms of voltage present in the system, HV minus to ground, then HV minus to HV plus. Always looking at the display, that's important to make sure it's free from voltage, HV plus to ground. And then I'm doing the very same with the measurement adapter on the other side, HV minus to ground, HV minus to HV plus, and then HV plus to ground. Thus, we can clearly indicate system is free from voltage, and now different conversion steps can be completed. We can replace cables or even high voltage components, depending on what is needed and what kind of error mistake has been found. Thank you very much, Bastian. Successfully completing this training and thus passing the theory test and also the practical test is one of the basic prerequisites for participating in the next training. Level 3, according to the German insurance requirements, and working on systems that are under WABCO. This kind of training is presented to you by Claudio, and I pass on to him right away. Thank you very much, Sabine. One of the special requirements here is the personal protective clothing that you need. It's been certified and tested. I have a protective helmet that the participant is going to wear later on. This helmet should protect the participant when conducting his tasks and assignments. You see here how it's to be worn, but we show you in real life in the training. Then we have also a protective coat. The participant is to wear this coat, and it almost covers the entire body. And then what we also have here for this outfit is a matching pair of gloves, color-wise with the coat, and here then another pair of protective gloves. These are working gloves for systems under voltage. Here we're talking about work that is done on high voltage components or systems. And the special feature about it is that when working with these, you see that these gloves are a bit thicker than the usually standard throwaway gloves. We need them in order to work on systems. And in case of an electrical shock, this shock shouldn't be passed on right away to the human being, but that the human being is protected with these gloves. And the shock is blocked off. How to wear it properly and how to apply it, we show you in the training. Here we are right at one of our practical workstations. What you can see here is an electric drive from the commercial vehicle sector. And Vicky has changed clothing, as we all see, and Bastian also. And Bastian has already been equipped with his rescuing emergency hook. In this workstation, his job is to make sure that Vicky, when she is working on the item, she's secured by him. So if something is going to happen with Vicky when working on the component, doing the assignment, Bastian's job is to move her out of the danger zone. So once the repair job has been done, we will check whether the repaired electric motor lives up to the requirements. We have a stationary test voltage device here. We have two test pistols here that Vicky is now using to approach the product, the repaired one, and she is going to apply it to one of our motor coils UVW, and then the other one is going to be connected to the housing. What does the tester do? Well, once I push the start button with these two pistols, we are applying a test voltage onto the system. It's going to be applied for roughly 1 minute in our example. And once this application process has been done, there should be no throughput with our electric motor that's been part of this housing here onto the housing. And now we're done and we can pass on back to Sabine. Now you've seen all and everything, almost. Very specific training, level 3. That's for pros only. However, we also have more comprehensive training that goes on having an overview. That's well suited for managers and also owners of workshops. Claudia is going to explain what this training is about in detail. Hello. Electric drives are the future of the automotive industry. Our training gets managers fit for mobility. What's it all about in this training? Well, manager, executives, operators of workshops will gain fundamental knowledge on high voltage systems. And why are they supposed to learn that? Well, in order to select proper qualifications for their staff and raise awareness when it's dealing with high voltage systems. And why is that necessary for executives? Well, executives in Germany have a special obligation towards their staff. They have to protect them, also in line with the German federal requirements for insurance coverage. They have to make sure that the working environment is safe, provide protective clothing, but also raise awareness when staff members work with high voltage systems and qualify them accordingly. So what is the target of the training? Well, the target of the training is that executives get the certificate for being a person skilled and trained with high voltage systems, but they also have the know-how at hand in order to provide consultancies to staff members and customers and support them accordingly. With this training you get an overview, but with the next training we are going into full depths. This training is going to be presented by Claudio, and here we are talking about the battery expert. So the focus here is the HV accumulator, because without it, a vehicle won't run. Ladies and gentlemen, we have expanded our training catalog here in order to have the high voltage accumulator included. We'd like to enable workshop staff to be able to service batteries and accumulators accordingly. And what does such a training course look like? Well, we thought about to best explain it and to best set it up, and we came to the conclusion that here staff members need to know how such a battery, such an accumulator has been built. We're starting off with a single cell. Then this single cell fits into alignment of cells in a module, and in the end of the day, such a module is making up such an HV accumulator. That's a genuine part from an e-car, and here we'd like to show staff members how such an accumulator has been built. Basically, we're starting the training and we do a first diagnostics with a visual inspection. Is there something striking I see it from the outside? If there's nothing noticeable here, like we have it here, then I have to have a look inside the accumulator. And how do I do it? Well, looking inside is done through doing software diagnostics. I connect a plug, and then with the respective suitable software I can read out the battery management system, and with it I'm getting the information finally that I need about which part has failed, which part is defective in this setup, in this component. Once I've done that, and I do know it, I have to open up the lid and all the things that I need to do. How can I properly open up the lid? What kind of threats and dangers evolve from that? Is special equipment needed? Do I need a special software set in order to get that done, in order to read out the memory? So many manufacturers have also their own software types, and this is what we address in the course of the training. And finally, it says, when I have such a defective component, be it, for example, such a single cell, then, in the end of the day, I have to take a decision. Is it broken? Can it be repaired maybe? Do I have to replace it? Or maybe it also requires replacing a whole module. And all of that is shown in our training and explained there. So thank you very much, Claudio. This is the latest news about our latest training offers. I was delighted that we had an opportunity today to show you our trainings and provide you with a little insight, a sneak preview, and I hope that soon or later I will see you guys here in Friedrichshafen in our technical training center. It would be a pleasure. Take care and stay healthy.